DeWanna Bonner is an absolute legend, and this is one of the lowest of the low things that I've seen in sports.
Dana Bonner is now Dana Goner after a 5-game absence for personal reasons. It's now official Dana is out of Indy, and Fever fans who were incredibly supportive during her unexplained absence aren't just disappointed, they feel betrayed, and it's not just because Dana was supposed to be the veteran leader guiding Caitlin Clark and helping the Fever make a real championship push. It's not even about the hype that came with her signing, it's why she reportedly wanted out. That's what's leaving a horrible taste in fans' mouths in a season full of wild ups and downs. The Fever are once again in a tough spot, but here's the twist: this is a blessing, and recent developments prove it. Let's break it down, but first give this a quick like if you kind of knew Dana was as good as gone, and hit subscribe for more WNBA updates.
When DeWanna signed with the team, she said at this point in her career she's playing for championships, and obviously have championship experience with those veterans they brought in. How much does that get to add to the culture, or just what it takes to win at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. Like, she's such a selfless leader. Like, she's here to win. She says that, but she really means it.
In an off-season season filled with optimism for the Fever, Dana Bonner was seen as a cornerstone of a potential championship run. She had the pedigree, multiple All-Star selections, championships, and even at 37 she was still putting up solid numbers. But more than her stat line, it was her leadership that mattered most. Last season, the Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, surged into the playoffs and became one of the hottest teams in the WNBA, but they were swept in 2 games by the Connecticut Sun, and after that loss, even Caitlin admitted it, the team lacked playoff experience and veteran presence. That's what Dana was brought in to fix, and at first she seemed like the perfect fit, saying all the right things, embracing the team first mentality and playing the role of steady veteran.
And also joining a team that's just impressive. I think everybody's seen the second half of their season, and it was an unbelievable season. And I just felt like they had a dynamic core, and I just wanted to be another puzzle piece into what they had. And hopefully I can give my knowledge, my leadership, and give it to these young players. So when I retire, they can pass it along. So I feel like they're young, but I also feel like they're a great young. They don't need too much coaching and too much leadership. They kind of figure it out themselves, and I'm just hoping that I can add to it and make basketball a little easier for them, and as well they can make it a little easier for me.
She got a hero's welcome. Fever fans instantly fell in love with her bot. Her jerseys flooded her with support and embraced her like never before in her career. She, like all the free agents added in the offseason, seemed thrilled to be an indie, feeding off the energy of playing on a championship contender in the hottest basketball market in the world. At least that's how it looked.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh man, yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing. And
you get that on the streets?
I'm sorry?
You get that on the streets?
Yeah, everywhere I go, it's just can't even go to the grocery store without someone saying how excited they are. So it's just been really refreshing. I'm excited to be here.
And Caitlin, who despite all her accomplishments and poise is still just 23 and learning on the fly, was genuinely excited to have her on the team. As you heard her say in the clip earlier, she saw Dana as a selfless leader who would do whatever it took to chase a championship.
You sure about that?
While Dana started on a high note, moving up to 3rd on the all-time scoring list in the Fever's dominant demolition of the Sky, the wheels started falling off almost immediately. She struggled out of the gate, averaging just 7 points per game, less than half of the 15 she put up last season. And while that poor start was partly on her, it also aligned with what fans and analysts were already starting to question: did the front office bring in the right pieces to complement Caitlin Clark, and did Stephanie White actually have a plan to make this roster work?
I don't know what Stephanie White's doing exactly. I don't have a clue. Again, I don't know what the identity of this team is. I really don't. It seems like they play a different way every game. One could say, well, that's her game plan. She's game planning for each team. How's that working out for you?
Whatever the cause of the slump after just 9 games, Dana was suddenly out of the lineup for personal reasons, and it happened to be the same game Caitlin Clark returned from injury against the Liberty now just. Before that, Stephanie White had also missed time for personal reasons, so fans naturally responded with concern, assuming it might be something serious or family-related. But as Dana continued to miss game after game with no explanation, no injury designation, and no clear timeline for return, that concern quickly turned into confusion.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB.
And then the rumor mill kicked into overdrive. Fans reported Dana had deleted fever-related posts from her social media. There were whispers about the team store not fulfilling her jersey orders. Even her banner was allegedly taken down from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Now, whether or not all of that is accurate almost doesn't matter, because the silence from the team only fueled speculation, and fans started doing what fans do, looking for clues, connecting dots, and deep down preparing for the worst. Turns out they were spot on.
Multiple league insiders are reporting to Annie Costabile, of course Annie Costabile is breaking this news, of Front Office Sports, that DeWanna Bonner has quote-unquote no interest in returning to the Indiana Fever, instead wanting to be in landing spots with either the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream.
This wasn't just online gossip anymore.
This wasn't just online gossip anymore. Multiple reputable outlets were now reporting it. Dana Bonner was as good as gone. Naturally, all eyes turned to head coach Stephanie White. Surely now with the news out there, we'd get some clarity, some transparency about the situation. But when she was asked about it, crickets.
Obviously, there were reports today that DB isn't or doesn't intend to return to the team. Just what conversations have you had with her and with the front office about that?
I've had a lot of conversations recently. Really been focused on the group that we have right here, and what we need to do to position ourselves to win.
And Dana's agent wasn't commenting either, which, let's be honest, spoke volumes. If the reports were false, it'd be easy to shut them down. A quick denial, a tweet, a statement, but the silence, that's not just a no comment, that's practically confirmation.
No comment is a comment. No explanation is an explanation. If we were trying to get back, we would have said, oh, we're trying to get back. We're trying to work some things out behind the scenes so both parties are satisfied moving forward. We don't even get that.
And remember how we all talked about Dana being that selfless veteran leader, someone who just wanted to win a championship and do whatever it took to contribute. Well, if these reports are accurate, that mindset disappeared the moment she was moved to the bench. Apparently, she wasn't cool with a reduced role, and instead of mentoring the young core or helping Caitlin navigate the early season pressure, she checked out.
Just here, multiple sources told Front Office Sports the fit in Indiana was off in the beginning. Bonner, who was signed to be an anchor to win with championship experience for the team's young core, was expected to be a starter. So basically, she stunk it up, got benched for Lexi, and was pissed. But it is what it is.
Now I'm going to get into why this might actually be a blessing in disguise in just a moment, but right now this really stings for Fever fans. They rolled out the red carpet. They embraced Dana as a leader, a culture setter, someone who was supposed to guide this young core to a championship. And during her absence, fans didn't just move on, they were genuinely concerned for her well-being. Now to hear she may have walked away just because she didn't like coming off the bench, fans feel blindsided and worse, betrayed.
We want to support her. Let's just give her some grace. And now we get some clarity on that situation. Now we get some understanding of that situation, and all of that grace can get thrown right out the window.
You have people fearing the worst for her family. You have people fearing the worst for everything. You have people saying that they hope everything's good with DeWanna Bonner. It turns out she apparently is just pissed off that she wasn't starter.
And then there's this Dana isn't exactly known for being super active on social media, but during the Fever's game against the Storm right after the news broke, while she was still on the roster, still being paid by the team and still officially out for personal reasons, she decided that was the moment to make an Instagram post not about the game, not about the team, just for fun.
She posted it during the game at like 11 p.m. At like 11 p.m.
Again, an Instagram post by itself isn't a big deal, but when you rarely post at all and then you suddenly decide to drop one late at night while your team is mid-game, while you're on a mysterious absence, and after fans have been wondering if you're okay, it just lands wrong, and whether that was the intention or not, it left a bad taste in fans' mouths. And speaking of bad feelings, that leads us to the next piece of the report. Sources say the situation in Indy just fell off from the start. Now, yes, her play was definitely off. She was averaging less than half her usual points per game. But this suggests this wasn't just a basketball problem. The chemistry wasn't there, and some have speculated her partner, Alyssa Thomas, may have influenced her decision.
You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Indiana Fever fan base last year? And all the things that she heard coming from this fan base last year? That's off. You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Angel Reese Chicago Sky sham investigation, right? Oh, if Angel says she heard it, then we believe that she heard it. That's off, right? Right.
Before I show you the light at the end of this tunnel, drop a basketball in the comments if you think Dana wanted it out for basketball reasons, or drop a P if you think it was personal. Now the Fever have real decisions to make, assuming they've known about this for a while and just kept it under wraps. You'd hope they would have started planning, but even then it's tough to move an expensive asset making $200,000 that is underperforming and everyone knows wants out. There's no leverage or demand, and they had to move fast for a few reasons. She's not contributing, she's a distraction, and if they waited too long, her salary would have become guaranteed. They had two options: trade her for peanuts or waive her to clear cap space. The latter sounds like a waste, but at this point it was addition by subtraction.
She got benched, she couldn't handle it, I want out. She's not playing well, she's getting criticized, I want out. Her significant others call this fan base racist on 2 occasions now, I want out.
And here's the truth: if you don't want to be there, you've got to go. Because the longer she stayed on the roster, the more that uncertainty would hang over the Fever like a storm cloud. And the Fever brass apparently felt the same way, because they waived her within 24 hours, but that solves only part of the problem, because the void she left is bigger than just her. The Fever are about to lose another player